Hi everyone, welcome to the vlog that we call BOMA Greater Dallas Unplugged. The only recap that I can provide you all for this week is that it's OU Texas weekend. Boomer! Look what color I'm wearing today. So fitting for it. With this week's episode, I continue with our Cornerstone Partner series where I have a conversation with Edward Mills, General Manager of Interstate Restoration. You'll hear us reference this in our conversation, but we pretty much grew up together in this industry, just like several others that I know of right now that I'm thinking of. But it was so good to catch up with him. It was such a treat, especially since he's just moved back and this was really our time to connect since then. So it was really nice to hear about Interstate Restoration's culture and how they are keeping in touch with their employees during this pandemic. So here is our conversation. Hi everyone, today I have Edward Mills, General Manager with Interstate Restoration, and we're going to have a conversation about how Interstate is doing instilling culture in their company. So hey Edward, thanks for joining me today.
Hey, how are you?
Doing good, doing good. Good to see you. It's been a while.
I know I had a little hiatus there in the Midwest in Kansas City, but I'm back in Big D, so I'm glad to be here.
Well, glad to have you back. So for those of the viewers that don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself. What is it that you do for the company and how long have you been a member of BOMA Greater Dallas?
Yeah, I'm the general manager at Interstate Restoration for the Dallas-Fort Worth, North Texas area. Been with them for almost a year, but before that I was with Restorex for about 8 years. I had to take 3 years off to go up to Kansas City to follow my wife's dream job. But a year ago, Harley called me back, and my wife was able to transfer back to Dallas. So we got to move the family back to where I consider home. So I'm glad to be here. I was in BOMA pretty much as soon as I got to Dallas. I started as an assistant manager for CBRE for a couple years, and then Todd and Misty, David got me, and Harley got me over to Restorex, over to the dark side. So I've been a member of BOMA for the management side and the allied side. So been 12 years, I guess, minus 3.
Yeah, that's so great. So we were just saying earlier when we weren't recording that it's like we grew up together.
You didn't do a test run? No, this is just natural. What are you talking about?
Yes, this is totally natural for us. But I just love how it's that you get your class that that when you first come in and you kind of grow up together, and we were just saying how now we're having to be the responsible ones.
Yeah, instead of the loud guys in the back. Yeah.
Yes. So how many people do you manage there at Interstate?
Currently, we're at 32 for the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Great, great. So with those 32 people, let me step back a little bit here because when I thought about this topic that we would talk about, I thought that I really kind of had you guys in mind because I know, just knowing the history from you guys being Restorex to merging with Interstate Restoration, I was just humbled to see that your employees continue to be the same customer service, loyal, just the knowledge is still there and everything. I mean, obviously we use you guys here at the Crescent, and I'm always just so happy to have you guys there to help us out in anything that we need. So how do you feel that you guys have instilled that culture with your employees?
Well, it really starts from the top. I mean, Harley is still involved daily. I mean, he's running the entire state of Texas, but I mean, he still resides here in Dallas, or actually far north Dallas, far north Dallas, up in Salina. But he's always been here. He's been the rock of Restorex ever since Todd and Misty gave him the reins. And so, even when I was gone, coming back, it still had the same feel. We're still in the same office. Some of the still technicians and project managers are the same people, and so we still have that nice family feel that we've always had. So it's been pretty easy, just because Harley's always been in charge.
Well, Harley, and he's done a great job, and you guys do too. I really, like I said, I really feel comfortable knowing that you guys are taking care of us here. So
Good, we're good.
so with
I hope
your
others feel that way too.
yes. With your team, your 32-ish of team employees, how do you communicate with them? And are you guys, how do you have your meetings? How has it changed, if it has changed through this pandemic?
I mean, we have my right hand man, Scott Ganal, our restoration manager. I mean, he has daily meetings with the technicians and project managers to go over the daily schedule and the daily jobs, what they're going to do, what they need to do every day still, because we've been, I still have my weekly, bi-weekly meetings with the sales staff. We still have our weekly meetings to go over the production report and make sure we're still on target with revenue and costs for jobs and things of that nature. We haven't been as affected because we've been a team that had been necessary. So our work from home hasn't been as strict as others. But our sales staff and our admins, they've been staying home and not coming in. So it's actually made us communicate more via Zoom or Teams that we use at Interstate, and realizing that you're missing out on a lot of the day-to-day just visual cues and conversations that you're having. So you have to over communicate and really strive to make sure people have their video on the calls and so you can see that they're engaged and got actually out of bed. So that's always important. But it's really increased the communication, which and a lot made us have more meetings. So I think going forward, it'll be a blessing for us to have gone through that, realize that we can work without being around each other, and then so when we are, it'll just increase from there.
So just out of curiosity, how have you liked Teams?
Man, I think it's 50-50. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people just don't want to like anything, but I like it. The video is fine. You've got all my folders and stuff that people can send me documents and keep track of conversations, because sometimes it's tough to do via email and things like that. You can get to it from anywhere. So I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, we're just getting started in it, so still learning about it, and I think it's going to be cool as long as you know how to use it and know how to. There's those automation stuff that you can do, but I think it'll take a while for us.
There's always a learning curve.
Yeah. So, how are you keeping your employees engaged?
I mean, our employees have been kind of overly engaged, really, because we've been essential employees, and unfortunately, it's been good for business for us, just because the call volume and the type of work going to do COVID cleanings and things like that throughout the Metroplex. Our customers have trusted us to clean their buildings, so we haven't been trying to keep people engaged. We've just been trying to keep people safe and motivated. Whether it's having breakfast for them here, making sure they get the at least some time off, because they're at the height of it. I mean, we were going back to back, just around the clock cleaning, because we couldn't have to get after hours access, and sometimes people want it during the day because they're closed anyway. So it was just kind of crazy there for a little bit. So we actually had the opposite. We tried to keep people motivated and keep people safe, and willing to come to work and comfortable coming to work doing the type of dangerous work that they were doing.
That's really good. So just curious with the safety portion, how is it that you're making your employees feel safe? Is it just based on their needs, or how is that going?
We just try to give them as much information as possible. Our corporate office at Interstate was ahead of this and on it from the beginning, and was giving us the information and driving it down all the way to the technicians. So we really had an open line of communication. We told everybody what we knew and what we didn't know, because there was a lot of unknowns, and we just had to be honest about that. So I think making sure they had the right equipment, the right training, and sharing as much information as we could. We just allowed them to feel comfortable enough to do it. I mean, they didn't have to. They could have said, no, I don't feel comfortable going to this building for COVID cleaning because, I have a family, or, my wife's pregnant, or, I might have something that I'm not aware of, and just we're not willing to take the risk. But luckily we didn't have that problem, and everybody, really stepped up and jumped right in and was willing to help. And we're grateful for that.
I feel like you guys were already ahead of the curve just because of your, like what you guys do, what your services are. I mean, you're constantly in line of anything that's, because you're an emergency restoration. So it's like, so it's almost, it wasn't really too much like for us where it was like this, just this stop, or, well, not really, I guess, because it's kind of the same, but I don't know. Seems
yeah, I mean, we just try. I mean, just anything that we try to do is we try to educate our customers when they call us. Talk them off the ledge, tell them it's going to be okay. They don't have to bomb the building. Everything will be okay if we just follow these steps, because this is what we've learned and this is what we know. And we just try to be an advocate for them and tell them what we would do. But at the end of the day, it's their decision, and we'll do whatever they want. But luckily, customers trust us, and I think we've earned that trust. And it's a good relationship between us.
That's good, and it shows with your employees. Like I said, just when I deal with your teams, they've been great, and it's like you guys are definitely instilling that into your employees to who we see, your frontline workers. So I really appreciate it. So what is your most memorable or proud moment that you have for your team?
It's got to be just the overall responsiveness and during the height of the pandemic. I mean, March, April, May. I mean, it was crazy there for a while, and our team, really responded great. I mean, they were working long hours in uncertain circumstances, and they took it in stride and came to work every day. And they could have made excuses, or just saw an opening and not wanted to come to work and said they had a cough, and then that it would have put us in a really bad situation. And luckily, through our culture, I think that we've built, and the trust that we've built with them, and the love and compassion we've showed for them and their families, that I think that they didn't do that. And it was really motivating and inspiring to me to see them to do that every day.
That's so great. I love hearing that. It's just, we are all essential workers out here, and it's like every day, you never know what's going to happen, but it helps to have a team that, knowing that we're all working together to get through it all. So I like to hear that. Well, Edward, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate Interstate Restoration's support for BOMA Greater Dallas. You guys have been supporters for a very long time, as long as we've been in BOMA Greater Dallas. So, well, thank you so much. Thank you to Edward for taking the time to speak with me. It's so great to see our fellow colleagues excelling in their career. And as I mentioned before, it's so interesting to see how our vendors are taking care of their employees. So I hope you enjoyed listening in on our conversation. Now on to our reminders. The YP Trivia Night is coming up this Tuesday, October 13th, and you don't have to be a YP to participate. Thank you to Alpha Glass, Platinum Parking, and Idon Security Associates for sponsoring this event. Once you've registered, make sure you've received your bonus points which all you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel, like this vlog episode, and comment with hashtag BGDYP Trivia. If you've already subscribed, you can still like the episode and comment. Coming up on October 20th is our membership luncheon, sponsored by Mooring Construction and Restoration. The speaker for this event is our Texas BOMA lobbyist, Robert Miller, and he'll be discussing the political landscape, which is perfect as we approach the election day. Don't forget, this event, you have two options. You can either participate in person, which is, we'll be doing this at Eddie Dean's Ranch, or you may choose to virtually attend. We're calling it our hybrid style, and we'll see how it goes. So be sure to register today. We are currently in our fall scholarship period. So anyone that's in the process of obtaining their BOMA designation, planning to do any professional development through BOMA, college, or trade school, you may want to apply for one of these fall scholarships. The application period closes at the end of October. Head to bomadallas.org for more information. The Lone Star Awards nomination period is going on as well. So put together those great stories and show how fantastic of a staff you have. There's several categories for you to choose from building engineer all the way up to senior property manager or portfolio manager. Nominations are due by the end of October. I'm sure you guys received your membership renewal invoices, so that's going on as well, and dues the deadline for that is February 28, 2021. But don't forget, there's also the membership drive going on. If you refer a new real estate member to BOMA Greater Dallas, you will have the opportunity to win one of 2 Amazon gift cards, which is worth $250. Just make sure you turn in your referrals to the office by January 15th. Lastly, we will be doing our toy drive, so keep an eye out for more information on this if it's through this week's email or the e-voice. So we're closing in at the end of 2020. I know it's been an exhausting year, guys, but if you need help lighting a fire underneath you, let me know. I'll help you out. And as Arnold H. Glasso said, success isn't a result of spontaneous combustion. You have to light yourself on fire. Thank you all for watching another episode of BOMA Greater Dallas Unplugged. Stay safe, stay strong, and keep up the good work. Have a good weekend. Boomer!